Hello class, welcome to your final week in EDU 650, your first class at Ashford University. Congratulations. For your final project this week, you have the big interview, and hopefully last week you worked on compiling the information that you needed to be included in your presentation, since you didn't have an assignment due, but instead had the opportunity to take some time to, marinate this final project. So I wanted to go over it in detail and provide you some examples, and hopefully this will help you as you develop this final project. But just as I'm doing here, giving you a presentation, you are expected to do the same thing for this final project. So you can initially start your final project by creating a PowerPoint slide, or you could use things like Prezi if you want to present your content, but then you're going to use that PowerPoint or Prezi to actually create an 8 to 10 minute presentation for this big interview. So I personally like Screencast-O-Matic. There's other things like Jing that you could use as well if you have Snagit on your computer. I know that's not a free resource, but if you have that, you can definitely use that as well. And then you could use if you're using PowerPoint, you can use the recording feature in PowerPoint as well. And then just, send that to me if you don't have any of those other recording features. So in any case, to prepare, you're going to decide which scenario is most aligned with your interests. So whether you want to perhaps be a corporate trainer, a military training officer, or a K through 12 teacher. So look through those scenarios, and you'll be keeping that in mind when you are addressing the main bullets of this assignment for your presentation. So here are all the bullets that you need to address in your presentation. And again, you're going to develop that using a PowerPoint slide, or you can use Prezi, whatever it is. But as you're responding to these bullets, be thinking about the scenario that you selected as you're addressing these various bullets. So I wanted to show you here. I just quickly created a PowerPoint presentation for this project. Again, this is what you can use if you'd like. One thing that I would highly suggest is that you use the notes to write down what you're going to say for each slide. This will just help to make sure that your presentation is seamless, and you're not saying the uhs, and you can just move on to each slide, and that way you know exactly what needs to be said. So the very first page obviously is your title page. Be sure to you can name it something different than final project if you want, but make sure you have the course name, the date, and then the instructor's name. Oh, and then of course I forgot, the most important part is your name. So be sure you include that as well. And actually, I'm going to move it up here. So be sure that your title slide has that. So then the next thing is your introduction. This is where you're going to introduce yourself. Feel free to include a picture in here. Also, when you're giving your presentation, if you'd like to share your webcam, you can do that as well. But introduce yourself and the position for which you are applying. Remember, there's 3 different scenarios. Just state that here. And then the next bullet is about the culture of universal achievement. So here, describe the culture of universal achievement and why it is important. So be sure to provide reading evidence from your readings. Now, when you're writing, you are doing your PowerPoint, I don't expect to see a lot of verbiage on these slides. Remember, you're going to use PowerPoint presentations should have just keywords on your slides. We don't want to overwhelm them with words. That is what your presentation part is for. So, you might put several bullets of key words that you're going to address, and then underneath your the notes section of your PowerPoint, go ahead and include what you're actually going to say. So in terms of providing that evidence, if a key word, your keywords come from the readings, just provide that citation here, and then again, use the notes section to elaborate on those key points to address the bullet points. And so the next one is the 21st century skills. Describe those skills, which are communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking, and talk about what they are and what you actually possess and how you will use them in your position that you selected. In the week 1 resources, there's a list of articles and even a web page about these different 21st century skills that you should have read back in week 1, but I would use those as a reference to help you as you're addressing this bullet point. And the next one is your instructional management plan. It says to share an example or your example of an instructional management plan. So you can go back to your week 2 assignment, but basically here what I want you to do is based on your position, share a list of your rules and expectations that you would implement for your instructional management plan. So if you are a K-12 teacher, you might list the rules that you listed for your week 2 assignment, and here also discuss why you chose them. If you're a military trainer, you might discuss some of the management plans if the soldiers were out on the field or at the range. What would be some of the ways that you would manage that as well. So those are just some ideas, but again, bullet points here, keywords, and then go ahead and write your transcript, basically what you would say for this slide to elaborate on it. The next one is the value of collaboration. Explain the value of collaboration and how you would use it with your peers. Again, use evidence from your readings. The next one is alignment. Explain standards alignment regarding lesson planning. So this is where you want to talk about why, when we develop a lesson plan, why is it important that our standards, our lesson objectives, assessments, and learning activities should all be in alignment. So in other words, when I select my standard, why should my learning objective reflect that standard? Why should my assessment reflect the standard and the learning objective, and so on and so forth? Why is that alignment important? And again, this is where you'll want to provide evidence from your readings. The next one is multiple intelligences. So summarize multiple intelligence is, put that S on the end there. And then why is it important to understand? Again, use evidence from your readings, and you can refer back to your week 3 assignment to help you. Approach to lesson planning. Here, discuss your approach to lesson planning. Think about the backward design model that we talked about in week 4, and even the traditional approach. And again, use evidence from your reading. So just provide some bullets, and then you'll write a transcript to further elaborate on each slide. And then assessment for learning. Discuss your approach to assessment for learning and how you will assess learners. So consider a discussion here about formative and summative assessments. Remember, your formative assessments are assessments for learning. So these are the assessments that occur during instruction. So they may be things like observations, an exit ticket, a quiz. These types of assessments give instructors an idea of how students are working towards mastering the learning objectives, so that we can make any kind of modifications to our instruction the next day to support our learners. Now, with the summative assessment, these typically happen at the end of a unit plan. This is where we determine if students have acquired mastery of those learning objectives that we have created for the unit plan. And those could be things like a test, a written test. It could be a project, some kind of performance-based assessment. So consider those as you're addressing this bullet, and then again, provide evidence from your readings to support it. Then you'll discuss data management, explain the value of data and data management. You can refer back to week 5 for that as you work on this slide, and be sure to use evidence again from your readings. And then you're going to wrap up, conclude with a wrap up of your interview, and explain why you are the best candidate for the position. And then you need to include a reference slide here. Remember, you have to have at least 3 scholarly or credible sources in addition to the teaching and learning and the No Excuses University textbooks. So you must have, that makes a total of 5 cited sources within your presentation. This is an integral part of academic writing at the graduate level, because while opinions are great, they need to be supported by the sources that are out there, the research. But I hope this helps to clarify, the expectation of this assignment. Again, you're not submitting your presentation or your PowerPoint slides. What you're submitting is this actual presentation part. So you might upload it to a YouTube account if you have that, or a screencast account, and then you're going to provide me that link. So when you are presenting, just make sure you're in presenter mode. I'll go back to the beginning. And so what you might want to do is, when you've created these notes, you might want to go ahead and print them out. So when you're in presentation mode, you have your transcript right in front of you as you are reading or as you are presenting each slide. So again, I'm going to go back to what you're going to do to submit. So you're going to submit your final project to Portfolium. So what you'll do is archive your link to your video, and then you're going to upload it to your ePortfolio. You're going to select Add New Project and follow the step-by-step instructions, and then you're going to add the title and at least 1 to 2 sentence description about that project. So I can go in there and verify it's been uploaded. And then when you submit your paper to Waypoint, what you're going to do is open up a Word document, and you're going to include these 2 links, the link to your video artifact portfolio, and then a direct link to the video that you made in Screencast-O-Matic, or you could use VoiceThread if you want to as well. And then it says the Word document must be formatted according to APA guidelines with a title page. So just provide, when you are submitting that document, have an APA formatted title page, and then the next page, go ahead and include those 2 links for me. And that will provide me access to your portfolio as well as your presentation. So again, you're not submitting the PowerPoint slides. You are just submitting the link to your presentation, your 8 to 10 minute presentation. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope this helps to clarify any questions that you may have. If you do have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email me, text me, give me a call, or you can use this announcement thread as a place where you can ask questions by just replying to the announcement. So good luck in your final week, and let me know if you have any questions. Have a good one.